Are you wondering which PRIZM Snow lens is right for you? We're going to dive into the complete PRIZM Snow lens lineup so you can find the best lens for your specific riding needs. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Andrew and I'm the Oakley brand expert here at SportRx. And I'm super stoked to talk about these amazing PRIZM Snow lenses. However, I do want to point out we have an older PRIZM Snow lens roundup, but we have new PRIZM Snow lens additions with more to talk about in this review. And if we're going to talk about these PRIZM Snow lenses, we do need to talk about PRIZM. And if you don't know what that is, it's Oakley's contrast enhancing lens technology, and it works through the use of specific dyes in the lenses. Now, these dyes help to separate colors. So they filter out those more noisy or distracting colors while boosting the colors that your eye is more sensitive to. And that separation of color is what really enhances contrast, and that's what PRIZM is all about. With that boost of contrast, you're going to be able to find your lines easier because you're going to be able to see all the details in your environment with that crisp, clear vision. So spotting different textures or bumps in the snow ahead of time to improve your reaction time is going to make for a safer but also more enjoyable riding experience. One other thing that I would like to talk about is prescription capabilities. Here at SportRx, we believe in giving you the ability to see better while doing the activities that you love. And in this case, we're talking about skiing and snowboarding, which is why we've developed our very own custom prescription snow goggle insert. This insert comes in a wide variety of sizes to fit all of the snow goggles we carry here. And if you wear a prescription, this is a real game changer. You're going to be able to see better and ride with greater confidence. If you want to find out more about the insert, how it works, the many benefits to using one, we've got a separate video on that as well. To kick things off, I do want to mention there's 3 different categories of PRIZM Snow lenses. You have lenses for bright light conditions, then you have mixed or variable weather lenses for sun and clouds, and of course you have a set of lenses specifically designed for low light conditions. But we'll start out with lenses for bright light days. So those bluebird days when the sun is really out, these 2 lenses here, we have PRIZM Black and PRIZM Dark Gray, are both most optimal for those conditions. However, with that being said, they will still function when the clouds do roll in. They aren't going to leave you hanging out to dry. However, just the same way as a low light lens works best when it's overcast, these are best when the sun is out. Now we do have some key differences between these 2 lenses. PRIZM Black here has that mirror coating on there. PRIZM Dark Gray has a more stealthy appearance. Now that mirror coating does affect visible light transmission, or VLT. So PRIZM Black actually has a visible light transmission, or VLT, which is the measure of the amount of light coming through the lens to your eyes, right around 5%, whereas PRIZM Dark Gray has a visible light transmission of around 12%. So Dark Gray is lighter than PRIZM Black, but Dark Gray is still darker than those variable or mixed condition lenses that we'll get into in just a minute. Another difference in aesthetics with that mirror on the PRIZM Black and no mirror on the PRIZM Dark Gray is that you can actually see through this dark gray lens a little bit and maybe pick up on some of that PRIZM rose base. And that rose base is found on both of these goggles. It's just a little bit more evident on this dark gray because there's no mirror there. The PRIZM rose base is what really boosts contrast and allows you to pick up on all those details in your environment. Since we've covered everything you need to know about these bright light lenses, let's go ahead and take a look at variable or mixed condition lenses. Let's move on to the PRIZM Snow lenses that work for both sun and clouds. So these are mixed weather lenses here. We have PRIZM Sapphire, Jade, and Torch here on the table. However, there are some minor differences between these. But with that being said, these all really work. If you just want one lens that can do it all, if you don't want to have to swap lenses, we always recommend these. So any one of these options are a really great choice if that's what you're looking for. As far as the differences go, we do have a slight difference in visible light transmission. So we have Sapphire and Jade here coming in right around 13%. However, Torch is supposedly around 17%, so a little bit lighter. But with that being said, I've tested all of these lenses and I really can't pick up on those differences. I do think the main difference between all three really comes down to aesthetics, which is why we recommend that you choose whichever lens color you like best. I know it sounds simple really, but functionally speaking, these all work very, very similar to one another. Another thing I'd like to point out is that with Prism Sapphire, a lot of people are slightly confused when they get this goggle for the first time because you can see through the lens a bit and pick up on that Prism Rose base the same way you can with that Prism Dark Gray lens. However, when this lens is out in the sunlight, the sun really activates that mirror coating and you definitely see more of that true Prism Sapphire color to it. We do have a separate video explaining what Prism Sapphire actually looks like if you want to check this lens out in more detail. Now that we've covered all these mixed or variable condition lenses, we can take a look at the low light options. Moving on to these low light lens options, we have Prism Rose, Prism Persimmon, and Prism High Pink here on the table, and there's some key differences between these. Now, just so you know, we do have separate reviews on all of these lenses and versus videos as well if you really are looking for more details on a low light lens. However, I will say visible light transmission differs quite a bit between these. Prism Rose, we have a VLT of right around 25%, so it's quite a bit darker than these two options. Persimmon measures at right around 38%, and then we have High Pink at right around 45–46%. So High Pink is the lightest of all these low light lens options. Now I would recommend Prism Rose if you want a lens that has a little bit more versatility to it. With it being a little bit darker, if the sun does peek out from behind the clouds, you aren't going to be totally blinded. It's also a great low light lens for light sensitive eyes. Prism Persimmon and Prism High Pink fall into their own subcategory of those low light lens options because they let so much light through the lens to your eyes. Now the key difference between these two is color saturation. With Prism Persimmon, you're just going to see everything in that persimmon color. Really boosted contrast, everything's ultra saturated. However, with High Pink, sometimes it feels like you're just wearing a clear lens. So you still definitely get that rose or pinkish hue to the environment. However, contrast-wise, I will say Persimmon, at least for me, tended to boost contrast quite a bit more. Another thing I'd like to mention is all these Prism Snow lenses are made as a dual pane lens, which helps to better regulate the internal and external temperatures on the goggle to keep you fog free, but they also come with an anti-fog coating that's pre-applied to the inside of the lens, which also helps to combat fog. In conclusion, there's a Prism Snow lens for every condition imaginable out on the slopes. I really hope this lens guide helped you narrow down your options to find the best lens for your specific needs. Now, if you like this type of content, we've got tons more like it on our channel, whether it's an Oakley goggle guide or Oakley sunglass roundup. And when you subscribe, you'll be the first to know every time that new content comes out. We also have something here at SportRx called our See Better Guarantee. And that means that outside of our 45-day return policy, we'll do everything within our power to make sure that you're happy and satisfied with your product. We also don't charge any sort of restocking fees like other online retailers. However, if you want to make sure you get your order completely dialed in that first time around, you can always pick up the phone and contact one of our certified opticians on the phone 7 days a week, or live chat with them on our website at sportrx.com. Thank you so much for watching this video today. We've got more related content you can check out here. And of course, you can also check us out on social. We're on Instagram at SportRx. You can also find us on Facebook. And of course, our website, which is sportrx.com. That's all down below. Later.